Wobble up dub dub. Happy Halloween, everyone. Not sure how many people watch these from the start. Feels like most people just tune in. Authorization error. Oof. My browser screens are being stupid. Oh my god, excuse the shit out of me. That's odd. My Twitch started up. Didn't know that was... It's probably in my starter menu. Hey Leonidas, how you doing? Nice to see you over there on Periscope. I am just waiting for the Unreal Engine project to start up. So if you hang out for a hot moment, you'll get to see some in-engine development. It's pretty exciting stuff. Bing! Bling ding 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 ding, bling ding 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 ding. I went to see my daughter's Halloween parade at her grade school today, and it was very cute and very sweet. And they played Crazy Frog for 20 minutes on loop, and it was enough to make me want to cry. It should be launching here in a moment. There we go. Thanks, Nightbot. You're a pal. Gotta give it a moment for the shaders to pop in. Here they're starting. Oh, I did not realize that got moved over there. How in this shit? Oh, I bet it's on restarting the browser. Something is screwing up my Snap 2. There we go. Now it's popping in. And I did a preview bake right before I went to lunch, so I want to see how it looks. Directional light's doing a decent job there. You know, I'm tempted to cheat it a little bit. But I keep forgetting you need sanity lights. Pardon me while I blow my schnoz. Got to run into a buddy of mine. His daughters are at the same school now, too. Oh, excuse me, it's my little girl. Sunflower seeds! Yeah, you know me. Now, I don't know if it actually posts when someone says something or comments from Periscope/Twitter. So I want to see what happens if I click on that and make a comment. It does say it. Good to know. So what I'm going to do is leave that open just in case. Alright. Looks like the ambient lights are popping in like they're supposed to. I'm just going to have to deal with it. I may, just for giggles, real quick, head over to Turbo Squid again. Just see if there isn't... Man, I am hungry as all get out today. I already typed in torch. But we're going to see what happens if we do this. Just if we can get a higher poly model. Bing! Bing! Ooh, that one looks kind of neat. What do we got here? 14,000 polys. Polys! Man, I kind of dig the crap out of that. What is it in? Is it an FBX? DS Max. Blah. Crap. You know what I like, and I can't even use it. Ain't that how it goes? Ain't that how it goes? Hey, McTizer, long time no see. How you doing, buddy? Rick. I gotta get my Rick impersonation down. Did I already look at this one? Was this one just garbage? Oof. It's a little rough. Looks a little too tiki-esque for me. I wonder if I could combine a static mesh that I've already got. You know what? Formats. I want an FBX. What, the belching, Kristen? I do that all the time. Here's the problem is these guys are kind of overcharging for their models. It's like 50 bucks for a medieval wall torch. I can get a whole pack of like 25 different static meshes. Hey man, McTizer, it goes, it keeps going. You know, we're just fighting the good fight here. Trying to find a publisher before we run out of time. Ooh, this is kind of neat. Let's see how it looks. Oh, is that, no, I was gonna say, is that flame? Not entirely sold on that. Alright, I really thought it'd be easier to find a ground torch. That's a tiki torch. I mean, I could do one of these. It'd fit okay. Could bolt it onto the rocks. It'd make more sense. The problem with the barrels is I've used them everywhere, and I kind of want to make it a little bit different. You know what? This one's $4.80. Does have an FBX. I've reached out to 42 different publishers, and the answers I've gotten are, you should have come to us sooner because we want to be involved in development. But the problem was 2 years ago when we started development, they said, come to us when you have a product. So, I have 3 that we're talking to, and the VC firm. Man, it's just not like super pretty. It's gonna be so dark, will it matter? So right now I am frustrated because the majority of people that played Toy War with us really seemed to love it and would come back to play with us, but we never, you know, nobody knows about us. It isn't a problem with the game. It's a problem with, when I look at my metrics, just nobody has ever heard about us. And to try and do a multiplayer game that doesn't have anybody, you know, no community behind it is just horrible. So right now, hopefully the last couple that we're talking to, they primarily deal with multiplayer online games. Hopefully they see the merit in it. So I just, I'm doing everything I can with my limited connections while trying to finish this up. Because if we can keep, if we can get some revenue started, then that would be really fantastic. Trying to decide which one of these looks the best for the scene. Yeah, we all worked really hard on it. Alright, I'm going to put a hold on that real quick. I'm going to look through my content browser. See what we've got. Fir trees, rocks, stumps, bleh. We don't have anything under torch. Let's see if we've got anything under light. Alright, well, I can always worry about that later. Let's just get back at it. Need to keep sanity lights going. No, we don't have a Patreon. I don't have any setup for that. Ah, damn it. There's a bit of overlap there. Hey, Lord. Chinese symbol thing. In German. At this point, it's a little late. I mean, realistically, if we had the marketing reach to let people know we have a Patreon, you know. So. Come on. I grabbed the wrong part of it. What we need in order to actually make it a success, or even to keep going, is we need a publisher. Unfortunately, there isn't any other fancy way around it. It is a first-person horror jump scare. Lombista. Yeah, I'll turn the lights on so you can see. So, some things just immediately jump out and kill you. Some things stand up, chase you, and kill you. Some things that wear hoods and have glowy eyes chase you and kill you. There is no way to kill any of them. All you can do is hide and survive. Right now I'm finishing the last stage of the game. It is in first person, and it is going to be in regular game and in VR. Yeah, kind of like Outlast and Amnesia. It's a little bit more like if you were to combine... Oof. It is really tight in there. The scares are instant and immediate, and they are punishing. The gameplay is super brutal. So, like, you don't get second chances. You either survive the level or you die. And we've got some gameplay mechanics, a little bit of puzzle solving, nothing super heavy, more about ambiance and tone and trying to not get killed by the things that go bump in the night. We've got a couple of gameplay mechanics such as sanity. Yeah, from what I saw, although Unity seems to be fine for much smaller projects, it did not fit what we were trying to accomplish on the couple of games we've been building. So, whereas there's nothing wrong with the engine, it just didn't fit our needs for our projects. know what? I really should have been making these closer. Oh no, that's all right. Oh. I'm on the wrong one. Oh, I just didn't move the sphere out. Did I? Lumbista, this game is pretty short. We already had most of the assets already made by our art team for our other game, so we're at like 2.5 months in, 3 at the most, between just the two of us working on it, and we're almost done with it. Christian, we streamed Twabor every day when Emily was still working with us for 8 months. We did make a lot of friends with low-level streamers, low-tier, with, you know, not like a lot of followers, but we never seemed to be able to break into having higher-tier streamers, and those are the ones that we need more than anything. Any advice? Well, it depends. Are you like a level designer, or are you going into engineering, or are you art, or... Because I can offer tons of advice. I've given a few lectures on indie game dev. Like, what specific area are you looking to go into? Yeah, Lone Wolf, you know, realistically, if you could get away with developing a game just being an engineer, especially if you go to the Unreal Marketplace. I don't know if you've ever poked in there. I'll open her up. But if you go to the Marketplace, there are literally thousands of things that you can buy and use and make, and it's all royalty-free after you've purchased it. You know, you can pick up a pack, because, like, if you were to try to pay a 3D modeler to make these things, you'd be looking at hundreds to thousands of dollars if you're paying them per hour. Where if you needed a really sweet Wraith, you can always make changes to the materials on it to kind of more customize it for your own. But you couldn't, because $94.99, a 3D modeler, the minimum you're going to pay for a decent one is going to be $20 an hour. maybe even 15 bucks an hour. So if you're working an 8-hour day, you're looking at least $100 to make this. And I already can tell you there is no way a 3D modeler is going to make this in one day. It probably took him 3 to 4 days at least to put that together, minimum. So I would say hone your skills by using marketplace assets, make the minimum game you possibly can, and have your friends try it out. And you learn by doing, because like I did not know much about the engine to start, but after getting my feet wet and using it a bunch, it really became readily obvious and apparent how everything worked. And I don't deal much in blueprints, I left that all to my engineer, but if you're an engineer who is competent, you can find tons of work. I would just say, like, get in and do it. Be a little cautious with the videos, like the tutorials. Don't get too discouraged because a lot of them are out of date since Unreal updates how it works all of the time when it changes engine versions. Oh, dang it, my coffee's cold. But I'd say just make something short, then make something else short, then make something else short, and start like getting your competency up, because otherwise if it takes you forever to build something, no one's going to want to hire you. Get your resume up. Get your skill set up. As a hiring manager for this company, I was very frustrated at how long it took for the employees to get some stuff done. A big mistake I made in this development was hiring too many people, and they would take their time. And that ended up biting me in the ass. Do I not have all the sublevels up? I do. Why is that one not showing? So, I know it sounds kind of goofy, like the same advice you'll hear from anywhere, but make something, get it done, move on to the next thing. Learn as much as you can, as quickly as you can. Oh, I see, because this sphere isn't all the way out. That's not bad. Learn the hotkeys, learn the shortcuts. You know, learn to be as quick and efficient as possible. Otherwise, you are going to drown in feature creep, miss deadlines, debt. Whereas artists can't really make a game by themselves because they need an engineer. Well, I'm game design and level assembly, so I know a little bit about blueprints, but I leave that up to my engineer to do. There are a lot of very specific careers which require a specific skill set. And thinking that you can do everything kind of only works if you're an engineer, because you can easily buy art assets where you cannot buy pre-made code. I mean, you can a little bit, but believe me, it is not going to work the way you think it is. Cool. Where did I just see that at? I didn't specifically study game design intentionally. I owned a cyber cafe for a decade, and I was identifying trends in the industry for my previous job. And I thought that I could, it was really just more accidental. I thought that I could create something that would be popular. It's at 1,000, and I don't want it at 1,000. What the hell is that one that's further out? And so I put a business plan together and marketing plan and shopped it around for a couple of years trying to raise money. I ended up raising a significant amount of investment. We made our first game, which is finished, and I'm trying to find a publisher for, but we're struggling to get any notice on the market, and I underestimated how difficult it would be to get noticed in today's noisy game market. And that is entirely my bad, which has led to some unfortunate struggles for the company as we continue to try to move forward. Sound design too, if you're, there are, and I've researched that very heavily, but I've also discovered that there are a ton of, we are on Steam Greenlight, and that has not helped in any way, shape, or form. I can't really get into it, but what Steam isn't what game developers think Steam is. Indie, especially inexperienced ones. I came to find out the hard way. There are options of self-publishing, which we've already pursued, but given that we are a multiplayer-only online game, you kind of already have to have a community in place. And the indies that are the most successful are the ones that are able to work contracts with like streamers, or just get accidentally reviewed by a big streamer. You know, and I have reached out to, at this point, hundreds of streamers of high, low, medium viewership, and it has not been, we're basically ignored because it's not a game anybody's ever heard of. And right now the multiplayer games that are dominating the arena are Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch, PUBG, and Fortnite. So, I mean, I'm not trying to make any excuses here. It's my fault for not identifying the situation sooner. I just, never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be this challenging to get people to play the game. But if you're a talented musician and you want to get your feet wet a little bit, you can always toss your music up on the Unreal Marketplace. People buy, oh dang it, I did not want to do that. People buy those audio packs all the time. I've bought plenty of them too, for backgrounds and Foley work. You know, honestly, just tell your friends, subscribe, tell your buddies, say check this dude out. They're doing something, they're making something. We've done tons of giveaways. You know, I bet that's gonna blow it out. No, actually it's not so bad. You know, we're very individual friendly, so if you are somebody that wants to, you know, come along for the ride, we are more than happy to have friends, viewers, players, community. Not, there's like nowhere in there that the player can. Yeah, I've already got all the sound needs taken care of. I ended up getting almost all of the stuff for this off the Unreal Marketplace. Plus, we had a bunch of Foley work already from our first game. Yeah, that only goes so far. We have reached out to, as I'd mentioned before, just dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of like gaming communities between like college clubs, high school groups, just community hubs like, you know, like comic book shops. and nobody's taken us seriously. We've had a lot of, oh, we'd love to help, and then when we contact them, we just never hear back. Wah, wah. So you're a team, how many? Well, we originally had 54, and we're down to 2 now. Hey, TBG. How are you today? I'm doing all right. Just fighting a good fight. I really don't like that one there. Ooh, that's gonna be a good spot for a Larry. There's a pitch black spot right there, which means it needs a little something, something. This. Oh, that's right, when you get in here. Which means I need one of these. Level design is where level and game design is where I really enjoy it the most, being able to come up with the ideas and then build them out. Engineering is not a job for me. I wouldn't say I don't have the head for it, I just don't have the passion for it. I don't find it super interesting. Animation takes a lot of work and a lot of practice. Like musicians, you've got people that think anybody can be a musician, but at the end of the day, you've got good musicians, and then you have everybody else. So I went after what I was passionate about and decent at. Ooh, that's looking really good. Ugh, I hate how repetitive that is. Oops, wrong button. This game's only got a couple more weeks of development left. I'm finishing up the final stage right now. It's taken a little longer because we allowed a little bit of feature creep in, which usually I'm pretty good at not having, but we wanted to make the last part of it pretty exciting. Balls. Exceptionally dark spot right there. And that spot's going to be really dark too. It's going to be around the $10 price point. It's going to have anywhere from 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. It's all single player. So dark right there. Does that not have... No, it is. It is so dark in those two spots. Figure out where I put all my... Oh hell, am I putting these all in the wrong sub level? Wah wah. It was neat. They play Crazy Frog for the whole time for like 20 minutes. And so I've got that dang song stuck in my head now. It's obviously just for the kids as a TBG. But she has a good time. She just does her little walk and everybody waves and we get it on video and that kind of stuff. Oh, I want that third kind of light. I did. I looked at the assets that we already had, Lambista, and I knew we could bang out a game pretty quickly using it that would reach a broader audience. And horror jump scare is pretty broad appeal. I was hoping to get it done by Halloween, but that didn't end up happening. Well, I'd love to have you play it. Just follow us and check back for when we get her done. Get her done! I really hate sticking another one of those in there, but I'm not sure what else I can do right now with it. At least I'm in the right sub-level now. Alright, I've moved a lot of props around. I got to see where my ambient lighting is. This may lag out the stream a little bit because I have to use the light bake tool, which uses lots of processor. So if it lags, it will catch back up. You just have to give it a moment. Hey, Smart Alex. I see you lurking there in Twitch. Or did you just leave us right when I said that? No, you're still there. Alright. We got all the levels saved. Make sure it's just a preview. We're going to build lighting. I have the other sub-levels hidden because I don't need to see what they look like anymore. I've already got the light bakes done on them. And it takes longer to bake more levels. So the more static meshes you have, the longer it takes to bake. I'm using a swarm agent through the Unreal Engine, which distributes the work to other computers on my network. It's actually pretty neat. So, and then each one will show you how many cores it's using. Most of them are 8. I think this one's got build box 2. I think it's 16. Let's see what the task manager's up to. Yep. With any luck, there'll be enough processor left. Alright, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I've been drinking coffee and water all morning. So while that's baking, I will be right back. And I'm back. Hey, the Pinky. Privet. Let's save this bad boy out. Windows only, yeah. Mainly because we're building it for VR, and I don't have a Mac developer. One of the publishers I'm talking with does publish on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, as well as PC. And so if they decide they like us, then we can have it on multiple platforms. It's super highly optimized, so that way it can be in VR. And this is a 3-year-old computer I'm working on, and we're getting 90 to 120 frames, which is fantastic on an old rig. Let's find the red spots. None. Good. I gotta actually swing around this way and take a look. No red spots. Oof, that is a super dark spot though. Yeah, you got a PS4. So we'd like to get it on multiple platforms, but my engineer right now is only is Windows engineer. So I gotta outsource to get it on other platforms. Oof, that's a lot of dark spots. What the hell? Here, just because I love the way these look. Under the trees. I hope it gets attention everywhere. But yes, Switzerland would be nice as well. It is very kind of you to say Lambista. I think I've been saying it wrong the whole time. One does hope that their work gets appreciated and noticed. That your life's ambitions aren't just pointless. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch that and that and that. And we're going to pop this dude open a little bit bigger because there isn't really a lot of lighting over here. Oof, little tiny bit. Oops. Clicked on the wrong thing. That's not bad. Turkish. No English pronunciation. Well, I've got some things. I'm about to delight you, Lambista. Ne yemek istiyorsun? Eh? Eh? Are you so impressed right now? Ooh, and you know what? Ooh, and I know one Turkish insult, too. My buddy, who was from Turkey, grew up there. His family was from there. Taught me the Turkish insult. Amcık. Eh? Apparently that's like the first thing you teach friends is like all of the swear words. Oh, is there really no lighting there at all? There is not. And I know the thing, the fist slap on the wrist thing. He even told me you're supposed to lick your arm before doing it. Really don't like how dark that is. You want me to do it? Is this like the super worst thing? I mean, he joked with me all the time that it was like a good insult, but it's not like I've not given the middle finger on stream before. Should I show you? Should I show you how good I am at it, Lambista? You ready for this? I'm gonna wait till you say yes before I do it. But the moment you say do it, I'm gonna. That way I can insult anyone who knows what it means. Gotta get ready. And if you say don't, Lambista, I'm not gonna. Alright, ready? I'll do it again for this camera. What'd you think? Was that delightful? Did that entertain you? What? Decent enough? Kristen, I don't. Apparently, it's. This is what he told me. So, forgive me if I'm wrong, Lambista. It is basically a man getting his junk out and waggling at you. Those Turks have the best insults. Although I suppose I shouldn't be doing that given what today's news is for, you know. I'm not a Turkish developer. I'd say teach me more, but I know the pronunciation is going to get lost in translation. Dark spot. Let's get another one of those over here. I gotta sprinkle some of those around. Oh, it was ironic. You kids and your language tools. You kids and your topology. I'll give a shiny new quarter to anybody who can tell me what that's a quote from. Hell. I wonder if that just needs to be refreshed. Remember, I was playing around over here, and I don't know if it just needs to be reloaded. So let's find out, shall we? None that I remember. That was about 15 years ago. All I remember was, what do you want to get to eat? Isn't that what that was? Ne yemek istiyorsun? Or like, what do you want for lunch? And then amcık. Alright, we're going to save this out real quick. I'm going to reload the engine because I got to see if that grass is actually where it thinks it is. I am from originally St. Joseph, Michigan, USA. Which, if you're looking at Michigan, there's a lower peninsula and an upper peninsula. You know what? Let me pull this up so I can see where I'm showing off. Okay. So lower peninsula, upper peninsula, kind of looks like this. I'm from the lower peninsula, over on the west side, directly across Lake Michigan from Chicago. That's where I grew up. In my 20s, I toured the U.S. on my Harley-Davidson motorcycle, finally settling down in my mid to late 20s. And then was with a woman for about 15, 16 years. Had a daughter. Unfortunately, she and I aren't together anymore, but we do have a wonderful baby girl. Who's not a baby girl anymore. She's a big girl. That's what she tells me. Every time. I'm a big girl, Dad. Yes, yes. I know, sweetheart. I'm sorry. And I really want to put a sconce or two in there. Problem is, if I stick them in, it'll look weird because I don't have them in the rest of the murder maze. Alright, hopefully this will fix the grass situation. My dad played a ton of video games and board games and stuff when I was younger. That's kind of where I got my love for it from. Alright. Oh hell, it changed where I was looking at. Alright, where am I now? Pretty sure it was somewhere over here. Wasn't it? It was. Oh, hell. Oh, good. The grass didn't pop back down when I sculpted it out. That's a little bit frustrating. I'm going to see if I can force it to. Give me a hot second. I've got to pay a bill real quickly. The player gets to collect. The player uses psionic ability, and by collecting some pickups, Jesus, call my bank yet again. I'm trying to pay a bill, but my bank keeps declining it. I'm assuming it thinks it's fraud, but it's not. And I've already told them it's not, but that's how it goes. So now I got a request from the bill issuer to make it a smaller invoice amount, so I can try it that way. So anyway, the player gets 3 abilities: a light orb, a knockback, and a stun. The knockbacks and stuns are used against NPCs. The light orb scares some of them away, but also stops you from losing sanity. In the game, you go insane if you're not in the light. And that's why the light build is so important on this one. Because I've got 2 different kinds of light: ambient light and then sanity lights. And the sanity lights are the brighter ones. So if you take a look, sometimes you'll see, so you see how bright that is right there? If I stuck it in the right sub-level. So the sanity lights randomly go off between 2 and 10 minutes. And so I've got to stick a bunch of them in there. So every time you play it through, it's going to be completely different than the last time. And so you've got to kind of try and figure your way through the puzzle and the survival maze before the lights all go out and you go insane while being chased by things trying to kill you. I gotta ask Paul something. Take a screenshot of this real quick so I can send it over to Paul. Stealth, yes. Every step you take creates sound, noise, and the bad guys are drawn to the noise. Shoot. So you have to hide, you have to be quiet, you have to try and not draw attention to yourself. Alright. Well, did you notice that? I just sculpted it and all the grass went to it. I wonder if it just doesn't like the flatten tool, like if it requires it to be the sculpting tool. So we're going to go a little smaller on there, pull up the terrain a little bit more. Alright, so I guess I don't need Paul for that after all. I just had to re-sculpt it out a little bit more. Yeah, I'm okay. I got to be very decent at what I'm doing. The problem is our company isn't earning any revenue off of our games yet, and so it's kind of threatening the existence of the company. Those rocks are acting a little goofy. And let's smooth this out, shall we? That looks good. I've been working on it. The big problem is right now, indie games market. There's probably 10,000 indie game companies all begging publishers to notice them. So although we do have products and they are fun and they are good and well built, at the end of the day it's just me screaming for them to notice me. Notice me, senpai! Here I'm going to do a little bit with the ambient, just to kind of outline this rock face. As players, I like to reinforce to have them follow these safety lights and then lead them into a trap. Because that's always fun. Buzz Games App! Happy Halloween to you, sir. How are you, Buzz Game? Oh, hell. I was in the wrong damn level, too. So we're going to have to go around and make sure all these are in the right sub-level. There we go. Daniel Snyder, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care, you can smell my underwear. And I don't know how I feel about that tree trunk there anymore. You know what I am going to do? I do want it. I'm going to just tame it a little bit. You missed the festivities earlier, Buzz Games app. We were learning new and exotic ways to insult people. I gotta stick a security light or sanity light in here somewhere. TDN TV! Jeez, everybody's just shown up all of a sudden. Yeah, we've got some nice lighting. So the story behind this game is that there are two characters from my primary game. One is kind of a blood witch, and the other one is kind of just like a badass cyberpunk gal. Good night, Buzz Games app. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. And so the Blood Witch has basically abducted the other character and is toying with her, trying to make her go insane and kill her. What? The chat isn't up on Facebook? I hit reconnect. It just showed back up. I swear to you, I had remembered to do that. Let's blame Facebook. Isn't that what everybody's doing these days? Blaming Facebook for like Russia and stuff like that? Did I ever stick one in there? I did. Good. Man, we were just flying through today getting the lighting in. I'm pretty happy about that. It's not super hard. It takes a little getting used to the nomenclature of it. So like, if you don't know the difference between a static mesh, skeletal mesh, material, texture, that type of thing, stuff that like mainly artists or engineers use, it can be a little overwhelming at first. Hey Daniel, she was a cat. She was a kitty cat. Last year, she was kind of actually, it's a little funny because, you know, she's 9.5 and she wants to be an adult. And so to be a cat, she got a collar. We made her a collar, but she wanted to be a badass cat. So we got this like elastic, which I hot glued Velcro onto the ends. And then we hot glued all of these like metal studs to it. And so that's the collar. And then she got it for her wrist wraps as well. And she wears a kitty mask and kitty ears and a kitty tail. And so, you know, like I see my little 9-year-old going, you know, she just views it as her being a badass. And I'm looking at it like, no, you're growing up too fast. There are multiple kinds of bad guys. There are 3 or 4. You've got the Specks, which chase you around and kill you. They're attracted to your sound. You've got the Hoods, which when they get close to you, slow you, drain your sanity, which will kill you. Then you've got I call them Larrys. They're zombies that instantly jump up and kill you if you get too close. Some of them stand up and slowly, endlessly chase you down to kill you. And then you've got Annalenia, who's the NPC that's trying to kill you through the whole time. And she just appears as your sanity goes down. Ah, these goddamn trees. So I didn't want there to be a million different kinds of like NPCs. This isn't a fighter. It's more like Alien Isolation where you're just trying to survive. Come on. There it is. What is the most likely game which inspired this game next to Outlast? Actually, I've never played Outlast, so I didn't know they had that in there. Alien Isolation. Emily wants to play a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's and a little bit of... there's another one. It was just an indie one that didn't have like super high quality graphics. But like if you look at most of the jump scare indies, they're very low quality of graphics. And they're kind of like a one-trick pony. And so I kind of wanted to blend them all together for this game. Oof, there's no sanity actor in there. I bet that's the audio. It is. More or less involved, sort of. Yeah, we're way past alpha. I already did that. Beta, I am gonna need to test out the final levels. We already betaed the first 2 stages, and I'm super happy with the way they turned out. In stage 1, you're just trying to survive while finding these 5 skulls and stick them on a pentagram. Once you get the 5th one on, it immediately teleports you to stage 2. Stage 2 gets a little bit more gory, adds more elements to the game, and you've got to drag these 5 bodies into bathtubs, find the knife, and then sacrifice them. And then which immediately takes you to stage 3. Stage 3, you've got to survive your way through this mountain path to get to the end. Now, in theory, you could probably play through it, the entire thing in half an hour at most, if everything went your way. But I've set it up, I've designed it in a way to be punishingly brutal. So the odds of anyone getting through it in half an hour should be extremely low. And I'm talking punishingly brutal. I'm going to actually be putting up the very first level as a game demo. So when I get that up, I will let you know, and then you can try it out, see what you think. And if you do, TDN TV, can you do it on webcam? Because I want to use a compilation of people playing it as one of our marketing videos. You rolling out for a little while, Kristen? You said you got some meetings you got to attend? There's no swearing in it. There is, like, the worst it gets is there's, like, hanging bodies that don't have any skin. And see, those are the ones that are safe. The orange bodies will kill you. And there's a little bit of blood gore in it. Not like decapitations or stuff like that, but just like pools of blood everywhere in the second stage. So I think it would like be default be rated M because of the jump scares and the bodies without flesh. But you know, that's something you'd have to decide as to if, you know, that's the appropriate amount of scary. Get rid of that one and replace it with a triple. That'd be fantastic. Let's see, YouTube. Let me show you. You can see, I don't know if you've seen this before. Our friend Carrie did a game, a trial run, or did some playtesting for me very early on. And I've got it set to skip for about 5 minutes. She was struggling with the interface at the very beginning. So skip to the 5-minute mark that I've got there in the link. And that'll give you an idea of what the first stage is. She did not get through the first stage in 20 minutes of playing. And she's a fairly clever cracker. And I don't mean cracker as in white person, I just mean fairly clever person. No! Don't remove from group. Lock. There we go. Where is that one I just moved? There it is. What's the first game about? Twaybor is a post-apocalyptic third-person action game, which you can actually find at. It's kind of like if you blended Overwatch, League of Legends, and Rocket League together. We've got Capture the Core, which is a Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch, Skullball, and then a Death and Glory, which is kind of like Call of Duty Zombies. So wave-based, every wave gets harder and harder and harder. that up nicely. Ugh, we still have a bit of a black spot here. It was a ton of fun. Everybody that played it with us loved it. The problem is my marketing plan failed. I couldn't get any streamers to notice us. And right now I'm fighting to get a publisher to pay attention to us. Nobody takes it seriously. Nobody thinks, you know, none of the marketing partners have played it. And so I think they just assume it's like some shitty knockoff. Instead of the fun game that it is. So I'm just racking my brains as to what the hell I can do differently here to get somebody to notice me. What's the attenuation on that one? For TDN TV, there are, I mean, there's no like weapons you pick up to use to defend yourself, but you get 3 abilities. A light sphere, which scares away the little creepy dudes. A stun in the a stun in the 2nd stage and a knockback in the 3rd stage. So that way you can buy yourself more time to get further. So the game specifically isn't about fighting, it's about staying alive. Yeah, I was hoping to get it done by Halloween, but there were a number of things that we needed to change about it to optimize to get it ready for VR, so that way we could do like a VR launch at the same time. And so like just some development stuff like that pushed it back a bit. I don't mind there being some pitch black areas, but it has to be good enough to where the player can tell that there's somewhere else to go. Where the heck did my... And I've moved a bunch of stuff around, so for fear of the engine crashing, I'm going to save. Oh hell. I smoothed it on accident. Bloop. We'll sculpt that out. Pop it in the corner. Looking good. I gotta stick something over here. That's where I want one of my little orange lamp posts that I can't seem to find. Where are you, orange lamp posts? I know I put a bunch of you over here. Here we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Super dark. Not good. Not good at all. Still super dark. Thank you, Lombista. I appreciate that. What's going to happen to Twaybor is going to entirely depend on... I'm holding off on doing any pivoting or rebranding on it until I get final word back from these last couple of publishers I've been talking to. Because if they decide that they want to keep it as is, there's no point in me changing it. And if they decide that they would rather call it, you know, Big Dildo Game of Doom, then there's no point in me trying to scramble to get all of the rebranding assets together for if we were going to call it something else. Yeah, I'd oftentimes thought about trying to get the comics printed into like a full thing. It's just the cost, even at only a couple $1,000s, became out of my reach as we got further along in development, having to decide where the little money we had left was going to go. There were a lot of big plans that I had. It has not quite worked out according to plan. So we are definitely in scramble mode, trying to figure out how do we stay alive. And from what our options were, putting Kaet Must Die together was my best hope of being able to keep my company going. The most active time for servers. Would I love to make a horror game after this one? You know, I really enjoyed making this one. We actually have a third game already planned out. It is a side-scroller, 3D side-scroller that follows the story of some of our other characters. Most active time, TDN TV. There is no active community right now. Every now and then we'll see one or two people pop on, play against some bots, and then leave. And that's our biggest problem, is it's really hard to grow a online community if nobody's all playing together. Our number one complaint on our Steam reviews is nobody's playing. And I've been busting my ass to try and change that. If you want, I can show you what Game 3 looks like. We have an alpha trailer for it already. Let's see if I can find it. What name am I chatting under in Steam? I'm not sure what you're asking. Like, I haven't been active in any Steam groups. I've never been in part of any, so Discord, we have our own channel, but since I had to let Emily go, I don't have the time in the day to keep chatting because I'm trying to get this game done. And so without having an active community manager, I mean, things are kind of stressful right now. So we do have a Discord. Let me see if I can get you a link for it. This stupid Me 6. Bot. I think I need to just kill the bot out of our Discord. Oh, if you want to contact me directly, just shoot me an email at my email address. I don't mind anybody sends me an email. Thanks, Lambista. Pull this one down because there's a few point lights around it, or stationary lights around it already. And so I got to be careful not to get any overlap. Yeah, we made a good game. We busted our ass. Everybody worked really hard, and I'm hopeful that the publishers that I'm talking with now will see that. We'll see that it's not just a piece of garbage. At the end of the day, you know, there isn't a lot I can do right now other than just keep reaching out. Oh, 2,600 unbuilt lights. Alright, I've got to go to the restroom because I have just been drinking an unlimited amount of fluids today. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to toss a light bake up, which again may lag out the stream a little, but I will be right back. So don't you fine young cannibals go anywhere. Alright, light bake started. I'll be back in a moment. I have returned. Uh-oh. We lost a bunch of people out of our stream. Wah wah. Let's save it all out. Nee, je maakt de stiersen. Sunflower seeds. Spicy tuna pack. Grape tomatoes. A green apple. And some green grapes, which I'm going to finish. All right, let's see how that light bake went. Looking good. Looking real good. Lots of fun places to stick zombies. Well, I'm not entirely certain what the Nee Yemek is Stjorsen means. I thought it meant, like, what do you want for lunch? Oof. It's very dark right there. I need to pop that up. No, I don't have any Halloween plans. My little girl's going with her mother to, god damn, that looks good, to their grandparents' house, or her grandparents' house, to go trick-or-treating. Get drunk and get a vampire slut? What food you want? Oh, yeah, so I was pretty close. Oh, that's way too bright for that dude. So that dude needs to get moved. Or, you know, it would make more sense is the light got moved. Bloop. Away from that dude. So let's go ahead and lock that back in. Pull that happy little sanity light in there. There we go. Even better. Oh, oh good. Oof. That section, that was a little rough. Oh, that's not bad. I got enough overlap there. That one, however. Oh, man, that's just pitch black right there. Which means I need to grab... Crap. Alright. Where the hell was I? Okay, that was the one I just moved. So it's this one. Every time I hear an email, I keep hoping it's the good news. I have never been to Switzerland. I would like to travel around the world. I was kind of hoping that after getting our first game done, it would afford me some time to take time off and travel. I've been working near endless 12 to 14 hour days for a very long time, and I am due for some time off. Man, I just do not like... That has no light on it. Thick slime. Happy Halloween. No, not good news. It was just Roku telling me they've updated their user interface. There we go. Bloop. How by doing that, it allows me to move another one of these dudes over. That's sub-level, man. Good, good, good. And just give it a little bit better ambient light. Meow. Meow. As our friend Kristen likes to say, meow. Right? Meow. Doesn't necessarily need to be on top. I just need it to be to where you can easily see that it is not a pitch black asset right there. Why is that light here? Oh, I bet I forgot to move it. Pitch black spot now. I'm sure that this would be a vacation which would give you a lot of inspiration about different types of landscapes. Yeah, there is a lot of beauty in the world that I would love to be able to see, and I just haven't been able to get to. Percent done of the game. Honestly, engineering is almost all complete. Level design, I know what I want and I've been putting it in. Is just for this section I went a little more complicated than I was originally planning, and so it has taken me longer to get through it than was intended. I am a level designer, game and level designer. Also lighting, I wouldn't say expert, but I am at this point very competent with it. I'm very proud of the atmospheres and ambiances that I'm creating. It isn't just one note. You'll notice there's a lot of sections that are, you've got shades of brighter whites, greens, oranges. It's more pleasing to the eye. This mazing, nighttime mazing has been really challenging to make. Because there are our game mechanic of sanity based off of light and them being stationary lights, it's been really challenging to get them in without having overlap, causing huge performance spikes. So I do deal a little bit in optimization as well, for like LODs and stuff like that. But where I believe I excel at is level design and lighting. Baking landscape textures. And I think, oh man, that's gonna cause a problem. You know what there we go. And oof. I have no sanity lights over here. Is any over there? Oof. More work than I thought. I do think it would be neat to work in VR someday, because they've got Unreal has it where you can actually be in VR while you're running around doing the level design, which I think is pretty neat. Good enough. I don't like being able to see multiple flickering lights at one time, so because it just doesn't look very good. So I've got to be real careful about making sure that when you're looking at one, you don't really see many. Is your engineer entirely programming C++, or is he also using Advantage Blueprint? He does both. He does blueprints and C++. Anything, and it's more of just on a preference-based form. He's highly skilled and highly competent, so there really isn't anything Paul can't do. It just, I think, more from his, and I could ask him for you when I see him next. For him, it's more of a what is more convenient to use for the task at hand. So if like there's a blueprint that already does it, he'll probably use that. If there isn't a blueprint that does it, then he will just code it out. Oof, it is so dark right there. I gotta get another couple of ambient lights in. Oh my god, and there's one right there. Which realistically means Murder Forest. You're so challenging. I could just grab... Alright, whatever, screw it. Unlock. Pull you out. Remove you from the group. And relock that group. More entertaining. Well, you should see it when we've got like our celebrity appearances. We've got an artist, Carrie Smith, whom if you haven't followed and you like comics at all, boom, comic.com. She comes and hangs out with Paul and I sometimes, and she is hilarious to have with us on stream. There we go. Brighten that up. How far is that throw? 2,000? Oh, but it's at a 4. I need it to be at a 2. So definitely throw some love her way. Because when she comes to visit, it is just a hoot and a half. She's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I ended up, Kristen, buying 2 sets of the hardcovers at the last Kickstarter she did. Outlast 22 have some of the best jump scares. That's cool. Actually, if you want, Lambista, let me show you. Is there a... I don't remember how to do it. Let me see if I can find it. Clips. Here we go. No, that's not what I wanted. Let me open up a different browser. And let me grab you a clip real quick. Where are my clips? Oh. Well, what in the heck did I do with them? Apparently I've gone stupid. I mean, that's not a huge surprise. I don't understand where those jump scare clips went to. Here we go. How do I share this? Share. All right. These two. You'll like this one. And you'll like that. So check those two clips out. While I try to remember what the hell I was doing here. Oof, that is ugly and boring. You like those, Kristen? I thought you were here when I had pooped myself. Levels are saved. Yeah, I'd like ultimately to get like just a bunch of clips from people playing, kind of startling the crap out of themselves. Oh, that does not have one. Nito Pukito. I know, Lumbista. That was exactly what happened. I was paying attention to the wrong damn one. I, like you, was focused in the wrong place. Like a poor marksman, keep missing the target. Yeah, my little girl's going with her mom to her mom's parents' house for trick-or-treating tonight. And so I don't have any real plans. The gal I've been seeing hasn't responded yet, so I don't know if she's home or what. That's an odd link on Facebook. What is this? Oh my God. New Yorker attacker kills at least 6. A truck was driven along a cycle path in Manhattan. What the hell is wrong with the world? What kind of coward do you have to be? Yeah, Lembeast, I'd love to. Definitely keep in touch. Hopefully I'll still have a game company when you're done with it. You know, honestly, what would help me more is having a gaming community. Because if I can show that the games we make are good, publishers will seek us out. But if we have to, like, beg them to look at us, then they're never going to be that interested. So, the thing you can help me out the most is grab your friends, Play some matches of tubers. Waybor. Tell them. If you need some game keys for it, I'd be happy to provide. All this crazy shit that's going on in the world makes me terrified for my little girl. You know, what horrible things can happen. Well, we just have to keep on keeping on, you know. Maybe see if we go to Meyer. What's going on at Meyer? Yeah, definitely. If you get the minimum match size is 4v4 for our Skullball game mode, and we can always add bots, but the bots are just hyper aggressive. All they try to do is kill you the whole time. So if you can, you know, if you can grab a few players, I'll be happy to throw some keys. We can put together a fun Skullball match. Someone was attacked at the South Pennsylvania Mire, and some lady made a Facebook video about the near abduction at the Mason one. Jesus. Hooray for the world. Falling apart, going to shit. What can we do to fix it? What can we do to help? That's the thing that eats at me, is what can I do to help? You get these groups that are saying everything's so unequal and everything's terrible, and but it's like, well, what do you want? You know, I'm not gonna be some fundamentalist jihadist. I'm not gonna be some lunatic fringe fundamental Christian or anything like that. I don't think anybody should have to believe what everybody, you know, what someone else tells them. I know it's Mason. What have you got there? You got a bunch of farmers. There shouldn't be anybody to be afraid of anybody. Hey Mario, how you doing, buddy? I see you over there on Mixer. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I am a developer. I'm a level engineer. Level editor, level designer, lighting engineer. Developer, engineer, developer. Oops, I did not mean to sculpt it like that. Yeah, it's times like that that I'm glad I live in a relatively unpopulated area. Whoa, that is not what I wanted to do. What do you do, Mario? You a game designer? Just a game enthusiast? Unfortunately, the only downside about where I live is that you still get the psychopaths that drive 1 billion miles an hour down the road, even in the daytime when there's kids on it. I get real sick of seeing, man, I sound like an old man. I'm about to sound like an old man. I get real sick of seeing teenagers fly down that damn road as fast as they can when, you know, me and my little girl are oftentimes bicycling on it. What do you like to play, Mario? And where are you from? We got a lot of people on the various platforms from all around the world. The Sheik's former daughter-in-law used to live in that duplex. Who's the Sheik? You mean like one of the Middle Eastern royalty? You're from Belgium? Welcome to the stream. How's Belgium treating you these days? I hear global politics or current events aren't super great. Should we have one of my friend's daughters lives in Belgium. Her husband is a chemical engineer or something like that. Oh, a wrestler, Kristen? Huh. I never followed wrestling, so I couldn't tell you. Whoops, that's not at all I wanted. Sanity light, sanity light. Gotta go find me a sanity light. Whoops. Should probably click on it first. This is a jump scare game that will be launching on the PC, but also be available in VR. Ideally, I should have it done in a couple of weeks. I keep saying that, but it should be soon. A couple of weeks. And I'm just doing a live stream of the development to get some interest in it. I'm going to have to shoot out press release or two here, not too distant future. Yeah, it's more like it. in the game, just to make sure, I am editing in the Unreal Engine right now, so what you see when I flip between the view modes is unlit versus lit, which is how the developers, such as myself, use the engine. So this is more what it's going to look like. I gotta fix his body. But you don't typically want to develop in lit all the time because it just uses up more of your system resources and is harder to do. So that's why we flip through it. Fast kill game. Zachary Marchetti, you're back. You know what? This guy should be facing out. That way when the player first gets here, you see that? Yeah, this is definitely a fast kill game. You have to survive. And it is hard as balls to survive in this game. Oh, look. Big old dummy Scott. I forgot to move the light. Where's that point light? Oh, okay. See, it's not really that small, is it? Yeah, I'm purposefully making this game to be exceedingly difficult. Exceedingly difficult to win. And I'm putting in a bunch of stuff that will piss people off to no end. I just saw that, Zachary. A friend of mine's in New York and she just messaged that she's safe. Oh, Zachary, be safe. I know that kind of thing. I mean, what can you do? Not go outside? I'm on YouTube as well. I've got this multi-streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook, Mob Crush, and let me take a look. Twitch, YouTube, Mob Crush, Facebook, Mixer, and Twitter. And Twitter's is called Periscope. those set to? Should have been alright. Oh, that's so dim. No sandy lights over here yet. Guess I will just bring those over. Lambista, this is the final stage, which is actually, it kind of grew to be way bigger than I was intending originally. But there is a mountain path you have to survive. The first two stages are in a sewer. The first one is fairly small. The second one is double the size, and then the third stage is like 5 times bigger than the rest, and that was unintentional. I was just going to make it a much smaller game, but then we started getting into it, and the people that were playtesting it for us really seemed to like it, and so now it's turned into kind of a monster of a level. If you want, I can fly through it. Tell me when you're watching, and I will fly through the whole thing. Oof, that overlap is rough. I hope you'd cry if you play. Alright. Let me save out this. And I'll fly through the 3 levels to show you what they look like. Alright, did I get them all saved? I'm going to save this one. Oh, I hope you do. Mario, did you get to see the links that I posted about the jump scare, about the preview of it? Oh, so there's going to be one small problem, is that I've invalidated the lighting build. So this is going to run a little chunky. Here, I'm going to hide the levels that I'm not actively showing you. Drain pipe. Zone 1. Audio, audio. Alright, so... Oops, wrong one. We did make the game, and I'm not trying to say that to be a dick. It's just the game is intentionally difficult, and it's supposed to scare the pants off of people. All right, so the lighting is not accurate because I have not done a rebake since I've hidden these levels. But you basically start here, and in the first level you discover you pick up these mushrooms, and it gives you a light power. The light power. Ignore the green spots, those don't show up in game, that's for the engine. The light power allows you to scare away the specks, and I'll show you what a speck looks like. This is a spec. And so for this one, you have to find these skulls, and they're just slightly glowing with what's called an emissive glow. You have to find 5 of them in the first level and bring them back to this pentagram. Once you get all 5 of the pentagram, and there's lots of spooky noises and stuff going on, and if you get too close to any of these guys, they immediately kill you. If the specs track you down, they immediately kill you. If Anna here finds you, she immediately kills you. So, this is kind of stage 1. You've got a few paths you got to fly around and look through. Avoid the specs here, you can see them a little bit better. Did that have 6 points? Oh, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 5 skulls. I thought it was supposed to be a pentagram, but you're right, that does have 6. So we're not satanic after all. Thanks, Thick Slime. Hooray! Christians will still love us. Tuscan Raiders. So that's zone 1, where we set up the ambiance. There's lots of cool, creepy noises and stuff that happen. And I'm going to hide zone 1. And I'll show you zone 2. Where are you, zone 2? There you are. Nope, that's the VR start zone. Zone 2 is more than double the size of zone 1, but I've brought some of the lighting up a little bit higher, so that way you can see all these lovely, creepy blood pools, the blood river flowing through it, more of this kind of stuff. There are 5 bodies that you have to drag to the bathtubs. And once you get in the bathtubs, you have to find a knife to stab them and sacrifice them. Once you've done that, that immediately teleports you to the next zone. This is where I also introduced the hanging bodies that have the physics. These guys are lots of fun. The specs are still running around, and I've added more of them because it's a bigger level. But then we added the hoods. That's a spec, my bad. The hood moves very slowly, but when he gets close to you, he drains your sanity, making you go insane and die. Yeah, you have to drag their bodies. We added physics to it, so you can't even like turn and see what's coming. You have to drag, drop the body, look around, drag, drop the body, look around, and you can hear the specs giggling the whole time. It's really great. We added more jump scares, and I've hidden more bodies in the water. So if you go in the water in the wrong spot, zombies will jump out and kill you. Plus there's now bodies and all this. Lambista, it is a decal in the engine, which is basically just a material that applies itself onto the static meshes. And I can show you. Oops, it doesn't show up. This is going to be one right here. All right. So the decal, basically, it only applies itself to any static mesh that it touches. You see how it goes onto that barrel there? And then when you let go, you can see it's applied itself. You can set static meshes to not allow decals. You know what, Mario? Killing is not fun for me. I actually never thought I would ever make a horror game, but this is more of market research of what could we make very quickly, relatively quickly, so that way we can get a game out in the market for people to start buying. And then this is, without the props on, you start here, and this is the whole path that you've got to go before you can get to the end. Now it doesn't look like it's very long, but I'll show it to you now with the props in. I'm just trying to get people, you know, to have them have a fun time. People like this kind of game. So you start off here, and then we introduced in now the walking zombies. And these zombies will get up and follow you, and if they touch you, you will instantly die. Oh, and in the second stage, you absorb blood pools, and the blood gives you a special ability. So in the final stage here, you start off here at the first checkpoint. You've got to find and collect all these little glowy skulls without being killed, which allow you to break down some of these checkpoint walls. You remember that guy? Ugh, I've scaled him wrong. Let me fix. And so you have to get through, and the lighting is a little off in this because I haven't done the bake on it recently, so the shadows aren't on it right. But so you'll get through this level. Yeah, none of the shadows are on it right. And once you get through that level, hang on, I gotta figure out where I'm at. Here. Nope, wrong way. Once you get through that level, you get up to the next one where you now have specks chasing you, zombies chasing you, and hoods chasing you through the shanty town. I don't have the last shantytown stage finished, but it's not going to take me any time at all. To where you then have to get through the murder maze. The murder maze twists and turns and winds. And then when you get to the next section, all of a sudden the hanging zombies, which didn't kill you in the last level, will kill you in this level. To where then you're going to have to get to the pump stations, turn on 4 lights, spotlights, to capture Halloweenie, and then set her on fire. Thick slime. This is true. Alright, it is 6 o'clock. I'm going to call it for tonight. I will be back on tomorrow around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys have a real lovely evening. And I will see you all. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you guys all in the morning. I'm not going to save any of that because I didn't change anything. Bye-bye, everybody. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in.